tragic and distressing circumstances surrounding the terrible murder of Anne Widdecombe is still uppermost in many of our minds. So it's understandable that members of Parliament are asking a question about their safety and who is protecting them. But in doing so, are they overlooking something that's equally as important, if not more important, in a democracy? Who is protecting us?
Nigel.cecil, calling things out as you like it, especially for his fair-minded friends.
Jagabatis, welcome. Thank you for joining my very good friend Hilary, assisting me, moi, Nigel.cecil, presenting these videos equally and fairly on your behalf, because you, of course, get in touch via our usual email address and bring to our attention your uppermost thoughts. So then Hilary and moi may consider what you've said, do some research, and then present everything back so you can then have another pop at us, but we don't mind, because it's all meant in the best possible taste, and at our age, it stimulates a little bit of creativity, which is all very welcome. Topics might be showbiz, might drift on to politics, but it's always applying our experience in showbiz, and of course, some of the things you've done in politics, Hilary. Yes, we have a little bit of fun. Why not have a bit of fun? Join us. Let us know what you think. Now, this topic, serious, but we have to look at it in an overarching way, because when others are serious all the time, they miss the obvious. Who is protecting us? Now, this is part 2 of video 431. The first part was published on the 17th of July, I think is correct, Hilary, and that was about Robert Jenrick and Nigel Farage and about their safety and security. And of course, very important, but quis custodiet ipsos custodes. Who is watching the watchman? Who is guarding the guards? If you've got security 24/7, who can you trust? We explored that in part 1, video 431. But this time, part 2, it's all about you, the grassroots. Because when it comes to safety and security, we've got this particular quote: crime and social decay are often the clearest indicators of society in distress. In the final analysis, every crime reflects a failure of the community itself. That's by H.G. Wells. And we're also thinking of that well-known truism, look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. And in our experience, when it comes to celebrities, applying the show business principles, what do celebrities, top of the first division, clearly understand? The fans come first. And unlike politicians, celebrities can't say, well, I've probably got this job now. For 5 years, we've been elected to Parliament. So, well, we'll get interested in world affairs, giving money to them, money to the others, flying around the world. And it's easy and understandable when you're in the Westminster bubble to stop focusing on who matters the most. The fans, the electorate. It's the electorate. And of course, as you get out of touch with them, you miss things. And so when considering safety and security for politicians, what about the electorate? And if you look back on things, at our age, we can look back and think, we used to play in the streets. Mum used to say, you have to be in by the time the lampposts come on, the lights come on. When it's going dark, nobody bothered. Nobody bothered really, even in inner city Manchester, shutting the doors all the time. Everyone walks in and out of everyone else's house. Of course, there were always the troublemakers, those, well, who were misguided. But the Bobby on the beat knew everyone. We knew them. We even bought them Christmas presents. And you say, well, times have changed. Yes, times have changed because you're not thinking about the grassroots. Those at the top look down and say, well, it's not really cost effective having a policeman on the beat. Much better to have them in panda cars. Panda cars? Who remembers Dixon of Dock Green? Happy days. No, you're just dreaming, Nigel. You're just dreaming, Hillary. No, forget the grassroots and start focusing on things further up, and you lose the very fact of what society is all about. Zero tolerance at the bottom, and I just say, we're not having that. If you'd have stopped it in the first place, it's true to say then, as you go up the ladder, things are equally more secure up there. Go to the Latin American countries. And you go there, and it's the gangs running everything. El Salvador, the drug gangs, forcing young children to go on bikes to deliver the drugs. And it's only when someone at the top then said, we've really been forgetting the no-go zones, what's going on. We need zero tolerance. We need to go back to the days when all the community felt united. A united community that spreads throughout the whole nation brings about the ambience, that national spirit that says, no, we just don't do things like that. But now with, well, all sorts of things. You can talk about immigration, but it's everybody coming together. We all say that multiculturalism identifies everyone apart. But of course, multi-ethnic, we can all celebrate our own ethnicity, but coming together under one culture, call it what you want, the British culture, I don't mind, but one culture bringing us all together. And if that culture starts at the grassroots, then you've suddenly got a nation that's happy with itself. Start allowing, well, those people who don't really care to take over for their own ends, especially at the grassroots, starts to move upwards. So as H.G. Wells said with that quote, a society in distress shows itself by criminality being ignored. Come on, shoplift from my shop. Have you bike stolen? No, the police can't come to that, which is why, of course, everyone is now investing in their own security. We have to invest in our own security. There are those. This particular tweet we found, or X as we should say now, summarizes it all up. We'll put it on the screen, shall we, Hiruli? Look, just those who are scared now, genuinely scared. Others will say, well, if you're scared, you're far right. No, if you're scared, it's because, well, those in charge are failing to realize that security of a community comes from the grassroots upwards. Who is protecting us? Peter Blexley, speaking to Duncan on Talk TV, sums it up. Let's just have a look at this, and with apologies to Duncan and Pete, we've just edited it a bit, but it gives you the idea.
That in recent decades, the police have abandoned the practice of patrolling the streets. Yep. The police now is a 999 response social service, very similar to how you get a response from the RAC or the AA when your car breaks down. Now you get a response from the police when there's societal breakdown. So abandoning the streets, abandoning patrol has meant that our streets have been taken over, of course, by the criminals. So as a consequence, there is a responsibility, unfortunately, upon us all now to protect ourselves, both politicians and the public. We must protect our homes. We have to perhaps sacrifice that holiday to pay for a CCTV and alarm system. We shouldn't have our heads buried in our phones. We should be looking around for any signs of potential danger. And that, I'm afraid, is where we are, sadly, in Britain in 2026. There is an obligation on both politicians and the public to keep themselves safe.
Echoing Peter Blexley, in 2026, there is an obligation on both politicians and the public to keep themselves safe. More or less now, back to where we started with the quote from H.G. Wells. A reminder, crime and social decay are often the clearest indicators of a society in distress. In the final analysis, every crime reflects a failure of the community itself. And in a democracy, the communities are the heartbeat of the nation, which is why it's very important that politicians must never forget when it comes to safety and protection. The safety and protection of us is what is most important within a democracy, because if we all feel safe and secure, then we'll come together to make sure that others, all the way up the ladder to the top, are equally as safe and secure. With that thought, please get in touch via our usual email address and let us know your uppermost thoughts. And until the next time, from Hilary and moi, have a wonderful, fun time. We hope some good fortune comes your way, Chakabatties.